All right. Hello everyone, I'm Bernd and I've decided to upload my solutions of this year's Advent of Code here on YouTube, mostly to give it a try for myself. So let's get right into it. Today is the first day and today's puzzle starts by giving us the goal for this year. We want to collect 50 star fruits throughout December that gives the reindeer the magical energy, enough magical energy to deliver the presents. The puzzle itself is about food items. We have a group of elves, and each elf is bringing a few food items, and we care about the most amount of calories a single elf carries. So input consists of many lines. Each line contains either a number, which gives the amount of calories for one item, and different elves are separated by a blank line. And again, we want to figure out the most amount of calories that a single elf carries. So let's have a look at a solution. We first need to read the input. So for that, we open the file and we read the file and then we split the files in the individual lines. Doing it this way has the advantage that it gets rid of the new line characters for us, so it makes things more convenient. Then having these lines, we need to calculate the most amount of calories carried by a single elf. How do you do that? So we keep track of the most amount of calories seen so far and the current amount of calories carried by the current elf. So we go through the lines. For each line we check. If the line is empty, that means we reach the end of the elf. So then we might need to update the most amount of calories so far with the amount of calories the elf currently is carrying. Then we reset the current amount of calories to 0 because the list for new elf is about to start, and we continue to the next line. Otherwise, we just read the integer in the line and add this to the amount of calories for the current elf. Importantly, we have to do this one last time. So maybe the last elf might be the one with the most calories. So we need to update the most so far one last time if the current is bigger than most so far. And then we return that. So in order to make sure didn't make a stupid mistake in this formula, we write a little test for it. So by the puzzle, we give them a test input, which consists of multiple lines. And we also give them the answer, which is 24,000 in this case. So again, we take the test input, split into lines, and then apply this function to the lines. And if we run it, hopefully we do get the right answer. So that's convincing and ensuring. So yeah, you can also run our main program where you read lines, calculate the calories, and show that. And if you do that, we get a number which turns out to be the right number. So how about part 2? So part 2 is slightly different, in that we don't care about the calories carried by the most carrying elf, but we care about the free most amount of calories. So how do you change the solution to also work for that? So we have the same read input, but this time the function is slightly different. So we keep track of the best free results we've seen so far, the highest free amounts of calories we've seen so far. And again, we need to keep track of the current amount of calories for the current elf. We again go through the lines. If the line is empty, we again reach the end of the item list for a single elf. So we have the best free sorted, and we need to update that now. So for that, we have a little function to do that. And then again, we set the current for 0 for the next elf and continue. Otherwise, we just take the integer in the line and add it to the calories for the current elf. And importantly, we have to update this one last time for the last elf after the for loop, and then the puzzle asks us to compute the sum of the best free, so we return the sum. So how do we update the best free? So we have the old best free sorted and the amount the current elf is carrying. So if the current is bigger than the least of the best free, we know that it's now in the best free again. So we replace the least of the top free with the current. And then in order to keep this thing sorted, to make things lively, we sort it. And then we return that. So again, in order to make sure you didn't make a stupid mistake, we also have the result for this problem. And we can write a test that again takes the same test input, but it's into lines, calculates the most calories of the three elves carrying the most. If we run that, we can get the right results, luckily. So we can again run the whole program, and we do get a result which turns out to be correct. Yeah, that's it for day 1. Wish you the best of luck for the other days, and hopefully see you around.